What more do you want to see out of your team going into the postseason? What areas would you like to see, I guess, a big jump in improvement, if there is any?
There's always something. So I think short game needs to be better. I don't use it a lot, but when I do, it's important. I don't know if anybody even paid attention, but the celebration when Grace Lyons got a bunt, that was a Grace, laid it down and beat it out. I thought they weren't quite ready for it. The elements, those type of elements, that angle down and runs, hit and runs, those things, if we can execute them. We had a few stolen bases on run and hits. I don't want to be a team that's just long ball, because we can't live off of that, especially in Oklahoma, the way the wind moves. You've got to change your game plan can be changed completely due to the wind and the weather. I liked how we brought that to the table against Oklahoma State. I think it really energized the team. So I think a little bit better base running, short game, more executing the calling card is something I want to see a little more of. It's just sometimes I'm not brave enough to call it because I'm like, what am I doing? If I get her thrown out and then we hit a home run, I play those games in my head. But all phases are really good. I think just confidence, just this team, these players are really hard on themselves, and they need to give themselves a little bit more grace and understanding that you're not going to get a hit every at bat, but their expectations are through the roof.
Piggybacking off of that a little bit, Saturday, you guys come back and have a huge win against OSU. How big was that for the team, confidence-wise, knowing that whatever situation they're in, they can battle back and get through it?
It was big because we were not hitting the ball well. We were just I think we got the first game, played well. Second game, they were just, it was kind of like that. But I'm not taking away, their pitcher was outstanding. She really was. Their pitching staff is really good. So we were struggling a bit. And for them to come back and finish it the way they did, really catapulted them into Sunday, because truly we likely could have lost 2 of 3 or maybe all 3 and still be the number 1 seed and so forth. But they have this kind of pride that they don't want to give up a game to anybody. They just always feel that they're better in that way. So I will tell you this, they live for what's coming. They can get through 50 games and lose 1 and just, all right. But they're living for what's coming. And they'll tell you that in August. That's all. They've had to wait a long time to get here. And their energy will be ready. I mean, they're amped. They love this time of the season.
You talk about the players and their reaction to it. I'm curious about something you said in the first answer to Dylan's first question. You talked about having to sort of fight yourself sometimes when you're like, what if the next girl hits a home run and then get an out at second base? Do you have to sort of fight against that to make sure you have this team as prepared as possible for this time of the year when games get tighter? You might need some of those things that you haven't for a lot of the regular season?
Yes, definitely. I think that's what our aim is going to be throughout practice, is just making sure we have any kind of game plan we want to put out there that we can execute it. So it's important to work those short game squeezes. Like I said, like hit and runs, run and hits, those types of chops work, where if you hit the ball hard on the ground and we're at third, we can, if we're running, we're easily scoring. So we're going to amp that up a little bit. But yeah, it's hard sometimes. It's all about the situation, the score, who's coming up. I mean, there's a lot to think about in a very short period of time. But we just looked at some video back when, like, Sid Romero and Shea Knighton and all those athletes were freshmen, and we didn't have the strength to hit it out. We didn't hit a lot of home runs. So we turned it into like that run and gun, just, runners in motion and hitting hard ground balls up the middle with the runner at second, putting the runner in motion, and we score easy. It's almost a little bit of the way the Japan team plays, and it's hard to defend it. So if we have a little balance of all of it, we have a lot of things we can do. But that's how that team won a national championship, was just being so tremendous with back control. Not power, but back control. So we can balance that a little bit. We have a lot to work with.
And let you win games in a lot of different ways.
A lot.
Patty, what about the Big 12? What kinds of leagues, what kind of tournaments are going to be?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, how good is the league?
Good. Well, Baylor just did a job this last weekend, so we've got your top four, the top, Baylor, Texas, Oklahoma State, ourselves in the top 15 or 20. But I'm going to tell you, Texas Tech could swing it. Kansas took down Texas. Iowa State took down Oklahoma State. So better play a good game, or anybody can beat anybody, and they showed it this season.
You talked about wanting to put this team in a hostile environment throughout the season. Just what do you make of the team's response to that? And how do you feel like that helps going forward in the postseason?
I think they really enjoyed being out at Stillwater. Whether it is hostile or for you, they just like environment, and they thrive in it. So I think finishing at Oklahoma State should really help us as we go forward. It was a good atmosphere and a tough atmosphere, but they embraced those things.
Just been the approach, preparing for different teams right now, getting this first game.
Sorry, one more time.
What's been the approach of preparing for two different teams as you
None as of yet. So tomorrow they move their games to 10 o'clock. So the team's going to come in, we're going to watch the second half and then start our practice versus trying to prepare for two different. I think that will help us get a little more focused on what we need to. So we made that little change to help us.
So you can't control the weather, but as a coach, do you change anything or talk in any kind of certain way, like what if this week as you prepare, knowing there could be a ton of rain this weekend?
We haven't really yet. I know that will be potentially an issue, but living here helps us know how to deal with that. So I think we'll be okay.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.